So hi guys, in the last video I said two simple issues, and that kind of backfired on me. So I'm going to say welcome to this video. We have two simple looking issues, which is 86 and 87.
I've pounded the road from coast to coast, Yorkie and me rolling on. 'Cause a long day's run can be short on fun without Yorkie to help me along.
So I'm so sorry about that. I had a little bit of a coughing fit, just as that's a worry. Sorry, I've just found a connector. I've just finished filming the previous episode and I had a connector fall out, which I put back on camera. However, yeah, I found it. Right, so I've got two pipes have fallen out, but one of the connectors has fallen off as well. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to do that after the video, so I apologise for that. Right, so with these parts, be careful because they come in a little thing and they have two bags of screws in them, which are in there. So of course, naturally I pulled this out and went to throw the bag away, and a bag of screws fell out. There should be two screws, so they haven't put the screws in the box. They put it underneath the box, so just be wary of that. So we have got 1 and 2 is a left and a right windscreen wiper marked. To be honest with you, these look absolutely the same, but one has been marked with an L. No, yes, they are exactly the same, but one is marked with an L and one is marked with an R. You can't really see that. So 1 is the left, so that's 2, that's 1. 3 is a big old hinge, right hinge for cab, marked with an R somewhere. There it is. 4 is steering system arm, metal, plastic, metal. 5 is plastic steering system housing, and 6, they don't, someone can't count, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 5, 7. So this is 6. This is left hinge for cab. Now this is very hard to move. Don't know how far it has to move, but there you go. And then we have a, oh dear, some people are going to complain, we have a plastic cog. Now after another build that we've done, I don't think we like plastic cogs, do we? Right, so I've got 2 packs of screws. We've got a DP13 and we've got DD01. So let's see what we're going to get up to. Right, so we're going to need the bonnet assembly from issue 1. Hooray! And this is the bonnet assembly from issue 1, which I've tried very hard to keep nice, and I think I've done a good enough job of it. There we go. So we'll put that to hand. Right, so we need to oh god, this is interesting. Right, note that the wipers are marked L and R, so we need to align the socket on the end of the right windscreen wiper. So that's the right, and that's going to go into there, we hope. It's not wanting to go. Is it positional? It's not going in. Let's try the left one. Wow. Is it meant to be idiot? Oh, you idiot, Penny. Right, so you need to fix the wiper in place by screwing a DP13 screw in. I'm sorry, I don't know if I didn't read the instructions properly, misread them, whatever, but yeah, I'm so sorry. Right, so screw ready, right windscreen wiper. That's definitely the right. So I'm going to hold that in place there, and then we can screw in from behind. Right, so I've just got that screw in enough to just catch, and then I can focus on, and then I'm going to screw this in almost all the way, and then we can fine tune our adjustment of the windscreen wiper. And I don't really know exactly where the windscreen wiper wants to go, so I'm going to go so this is almost parallel to the ground. I would suspect, looking at some of my buses, that over time this windscreen wiper won't always sit there. You know, you'll use it, you're hurtling down the M1 in a thunderstorm, and the windscreen wipers are going to, and then over time it'll probably end up there, or it'll end up there. I've driven buses with windscreen wipers that have been at rest halfway across the windscreen. It's just the way they go. Whether this would be highly maintained, the way the buses work, maintaining, if it's a legal requirement, it will be fixed straight away. So for example, if you had bald tires, they would fix those immediately. If it's something that doesn't affect the performance too much, they'll get as much out of it as they can. So for example, I had a bus where there was a problem with the gearbox. The gears were still changing, but it was horrible, and it made the bus shake a little bit, and we knew the clutch was on the way out, and it's far more economical for the bus company to say, yep, carry on driving it until it breaks down, and then we'll come and do a recovery. So I suspect that these would not be maintained to 100% efficiency, so if they were out of alignment, that's how it goes. Anyway, I've waffled on way too much there, so that can go to one side. Let's get these screws out ready, because this is the only pack of screws left. We know we're going to use them. Okie dokie. So next we want, fit the cog 8607 into the raised screw socket of the right hinge. So there's the raised screw socket. Tabs on the cog face upwards. So there's two tabs on this cog. So we want to place that in. Oh, that's very stiff. That's very oh no, that's okay. Once it gets past the neck, it's fine. Right, so next we want the arm. We want to fit the arm over the cog so that the tabs on the cog fit into the recess in the arm. Right, so you see there's, don't know if you can see, let's try and get you a focus. Right, so there's two, it's like a key fitting, and that's going to go over the cog. So there we go. So as you can see, when the arm moves, the cog moves, or when the cog moves, the arm moves, however you want to call it. Now I've lost my Webster screwdriver. Where has that gone? I had that a moment ago. It's crept all the way up. Right, so that's going to fix in place with a DD1 screw, and I know these are DD1 screws because that's all I've got left. So screw that in to hold. You can see the cog is lined up there because it does show. Can we have a focus? And then I'll tighten that up as much as I can. I can't see a problem with over tightening it because we are screwing metal into metal. Right, there is a problem. It's tightened it so much the cog doesn't want to move. So I'll back that off just a little bit. Still doesn't want to move. So we back it off a bit more. There we go. And I'm just going to keep fine tuning that until I've got the position I like. I like that position. Okay, so next we want the housing over the cog, and that's going to go over all of that, and that's going to line up. There's a little line there and there's a cut out there, and that should automatically line up with a screw hole, which we are going to pop screw in there. That's still functioning. So now that we've got this cog on, I can see that there's roughly as much movement there as there is there. So that's absolutely fine. I thought maybe it was a bit stiff or something. Right, so next step, we want to take the cab. We want to place the cab upside down. Which way round? I don't know. I think we're going this way. So what we need to do is, this is going to be awkward. So we've got one pin, 2 pins and 1 hole, and that can't be right. It can be right. So we have got 2 holes and 1 screw hole. And what's going to happen is those 2 pins there are going to go in there, and then from one side or another, from this side coming out that way, we're going to screw that in place. So I'll get my screw ready on the screwdriver, because that doesn't look like it's going to hold on its own. So we're going to place that into there like so, and then I've just almost lost the screw. Screw that in place. There we go. And is that the right? That is the right way, isn't it? So basically that's going to get attached to the chassis at some point, and then that will tilt like that. We also have, I don't understand how this is going to work. I do not understand. Right, so now we've done that, we now need to do the other side. Exactly the same principle, except that it's kind of a mirror image of each other. Right, and that stays in. The cab floor was about 0.5 millimetre too low down, so I've just had to push the cab floor to be able to get this hinge in place. But that's actually the beauty of the cab floor being plastic. It has that flexibility. Right, so that's the hinges in place. That is a bit stiff on that side, or loose on that side, but that's going to be absolutely fine. Happy with that. So put that to one side, because now we need to take the bonnet assembly and we need to identify 4 raised screw sockets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we need to identify on the cab 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. How the hell? Oh my god. So basically what they're asking us to do is place this in there, making sure the holes are lined up, and that actually goes in really well. That does go in well. So if you remember in a few issues ago, I didn't know if this cab was good. You know, it could be bent out of shape in transit, and until I put things together, I really don't know if it's the right shape. And I've had it for so long. By the time, I mean, I think if I've done my calculations correctly, what are we, issue 86? I think this is the 1st of November, so I've had this a very, very long time. Well, it's actually practically August at the moment, but yeah, I've had it. Whoops. Right, so I need to get at least 2 screws in there as quickly as I can. Now, 1 screw is there, and that's a problem for me because it means I've got to come in at an angle, and I've just slipped and scratched that bloody bonnet. Not happy. Right, but that screw is in enough to bite, so I'm on a roll there. Now, it obviously wasn't in enough to bite, was it? I'm gonna need that flexible end again, aren't I? The trouble with the flexible end is that it loses a lot of strength. Right. This is the one time that I'm really glad I got a spare screw, because I don't know what happened to that screw. Oh, it's still in there. Right. This is tricky, guys. Has anybody got any ideas how to get this in easier? Let's try this smaller screwdriver. Far too small for the job, but it will rotate it. Right. Normally I say I need to get 1 screw in, but it looks like in this case I need to get at least 2 in. I don't even know if this flexible shaft is going to be the right thing for the job. Right. Right, that is actually working. That is actually working. It's not going in really tight. Right, but with 2 screws, that is definitely in. Right, so now we've got to figure out how to get... Oh, okay, right, okay, I'm an idiot. So it looks like 2 of the screws are actually attached outside of the cab, so I've done that the wrong way. Not really the wrong way round, but I could have done it better. So there's a screw hole there. Ooh, my cat is chirping, which means he's either found something to play with, he wants to play with something. I don't think that's the screw hole, you know. Well, that's gone in. It didn't feel like it was biting, but it's gone in, and I can't get it out with a pair of tweezers. Right, I can see what the issue is. It's not an issue. It's one of those screws where you have to turn many times before it... Or is it? It's not coming out. So it's done the job. So the only loose place on this bonnet is this one, which I'm now screwing in. Right, there we go. That one is in as tight as it'll go. that one, there we go, that's just gone in. Now let's rotate this. Do you know what, that's not loose, so I'm gonna just tighten these as much as I can, but I'm really not going to worry about it. Actually, that screw's not gone in at all. There we go. That's gone in as much as I can get it to go in. And then we just need this one. So, the way I've done these screws, you won't really notice that they could go in further. Let me get something gentle. Yeah, you can't push that bonnet out. Saying that, you can't push it from that side anyway. So let's get my tweezers. Yeah, there's absolutely no movement on that bonnet, and that's looking amazing now, isn't it? So yeah, I'm happy. So I've left it in a situation where if you knew what you were looking for, you could pick holes in it. Right, so that's that issue done. One screw was supposed to be, yes. Yeah, see that one, if you look in there, you can tell that there's a couple of, it could do with a couple of extra screws, like an extra couple of turns, but I can't get in there. If you were just, if I went look at my model, you know, you can't spot it, can you? It's only if you know what you're looking for. Right, so that's issue 86. Let's crack on with 87. And I spent way too much time on that. So this is the cab steps. Now, I am led to believe, I've not fully looked at the future issues, I believe this might be the last time we're working on the actual cab for a while. When we're going to come back, I don't know. Right, so 87.1 is the right step backing, which looks like it's going to be one of these two pieces. I think it's going to be this one. No, it's going to be this one. Now obviously, if we get them around the wrong way, we know they won't fit. So I'll go on to 3, which is the left step backing. You can see what I mean then. So if they go in the wrong place, they just won't fit. 87.2 is this one. This is the right step grid, and this is the 87.4, the left step grid. I don't like that being red. This is a bit where people would be standing on that all the time, and I don't even think it would have been painted red. It looks nice being red. That's my critique. I'm not saying it's wrong, I just don't think it's right. So next we've got 2 LEDs. 87.5, right indicator and cable labelled 1, so that's this one. And then we've got left indicator and cable labelled 2. So where are these indicators going to go then? Because we've already got this one in. Oh well. And then we've got 2 bags of screws, DD03 and DD07. I'm sure this will all make sense at some point, won't it? Right, so take the right step backing 87.1 marked with an R. And then we need to screw that onto the underside sidey bit. So it's going to go, trying to get the orientation the same as the magazine. So we're going to pop it upside down, and that is going to go in. There's pegs and lines and things, and I can't get this so it's on camera. So we've got various holes in there. We've got 2 locator pegs. We've got tabs. This cannot possibly go wrong, but it's going to. Glasses off moment for me. Right. So the problem I'm having, there we go, that's gone in. That's what it's going to look like. And then that is going to be secured in place with a DD03 screw. So I didn't count them, so I'm guessing there's 3. No, that's DP07. Yeah, there's 3 of those. So this is a specific job for the steps. So screw into there like that. Sorry, I'm slightly off camera. Hold it at the bottom just so I can get a bit more pressure. Oh, these DDs take an awful lot of turning. Right, so one of the problems I had when I popped it in was this piece in the way, but you see it goes over it and then it pushes it down, so it's not a problem. Right, so next we want the step grid, and these are labelled R and L, and then what we're going to do is we're going to place that upside down. So we've got a little tab there which will help line it up. Sorry. Right, so we've got a little tab there will help line it up there, and then a screw hole. So we turn it so that the R is facing upwards because it's upside down, and that is going to be screwed in place with a DP7 screw. So let's put my DP7s. Yeah, I've got 3 of them, so you might have to help me remember, guys. DP7s. Don't worry about that piece that just fell, that was the hinge. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the screws around, because I know that the order, like that's a little bit loose. I mean, we're not going to be putting any pressure on that, but if that was real, that's loose, but that's okay, it does the job very well. Right, so we are going to repeat on the other side. So Shadow is deciding to rearrange my whole room. Right, so that's going on like so. Probably easy if you work from this way. Just lay that tab on there like that, and then bring everything down. You've got 2 tabs there which sit on this side of the edge. So, and once you've got those in, it's pretty much just going in itself. Right, so first screw in. So here's a question for you guys. I know that by the time this video is released you will know what's coming, and we've had some big pieces, but if you were doing this, like let's say this piece was released today, we've had some technical issues, you know, really technical hard work issues, and we don't seem to be getting a lot in actual content. Do you think that means we're getting something big, or are we making up for what we've got something big? And what I mean by that is sometimes you get big pieces. Remember, we recently got the cab. Now that must have cost Hachette more money to produce than they actually sold it to us for. Right, sorry, I'm just looking at this next bit. Right, so yeah, we're getting some smaller pieces now. Nice cheap, I say nice and cheap, cheap plastic pieces, which they're obviously making they're costing a lot less than the sale price of the magazine. So do you think we're building up to something big? Right, so we need to fit cable 87.5, which is labelled 1. I'm trying to work the orientation of the magazine out. Under the cable grip. Wow. Oh, I see. So the way these cable grips work, there's a little hole in them, and you kind of click it in, and then just slide it in. So under the cable grip on the right hand side of the cab, beneath the driver's seat, the LED circled runs to the outer side of the front cab. So this is then obviously for indicators that are coming in the future. Right, so I'm going to pull that quite long because I want that hanging there. So what we're going to do is I'll show you again closer on the other side. We have a cable grip there. There's a little gap, and it's the way it basically is you've got on one side the cable grip looks like this, and on the other side it's just like that, and you slide something in there and then pull it in. So the way this is going to work, if I can show you, you've obviously seen this before because there is a cable sitting underneath that grip. So we trying to get this sideways, we push that in. Mine does not want to go, there we go, and then we just pull it down, and that's not going to fall out. Right guys, I am leaving that like that. We have got number 1, number 2. That's perfect. It looks a mess at the moment, but it always does when you're dealing with LEDs. And then I look forward to doing whatever we've got next. So guys, that is it. Now next video is going to be a triple. I'm going to spoil it for you. The next issue is the first rear door, and I happen to know the issue after that is another rear door. So I suspect that 89 will be much quicker than 88 because we'll know what we're doing, and then we'll bang on another episode on top of that, which will get me to a nice position. Right, so guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.